Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's Rome. This is Rome Knows Nothing. Now, I'm gonna run down a little list. This is going to be not my top, but my favorite five directors. Now, I'm not going to include all filmmakers. I'm not going to include strictly people who write. I'm not going to include producers like Kevin Feige and everything. There's just too much to incorporate if I was doing that. So, just a little preface. I'm not going to be doing guys like Alfred Hitchcock and Peckinpah. I'm just not old enough to be putting those guys in my favorite category. So maybe a top category would be a little different for me, but that's not what I'm doing. So some honorable mentions that I want to run through real quick. Guys like Alfonso Cuaron, who's done just some amazing work. Children of Men, Gravity. This guy, he knows how to make a movie. I think a lot of his stuff too, I like because of the cinematography. So he's worked with Emmanuel Lubezki, who's won like 3 Oscars in a row for, best cinematography. So it's like, this guy's working with really great people too. But yeah, so Alfonso Cuarón, Richard Linklater, he did Boyhood and just a ton of great movies. He's got his own style and his own way of making a movie that really shines, I think. Ryan Johnson, who is doing the new Star Wars movie that's coming out this December. He did Brick with Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Looper with Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Bruce Willis. This guy, there's a couple of these guys, Ryan Johnson, Alfonso Cuarón. If they had made more stuff, they'd probably be cracking my 5 or maybe even 4 spot. Probably not my 4, not my 4 spot, but they would definitely be cracking my top 5. So, another one, Denis Villeneuve, I believe is how you pronounce it. He's doing the new Blade Runner movie. This guy probably should be on my 5 spot, but when I go through my 5 and stuff, you'll see. Wes Anderson has made some very quirky, funny, unique movies. The Coen Brothers. I mean, do they make a bad movie? Even movies that aren't well received from them, I absolutely adore. So they've made enough. I just don't think that, I don't know, just something about it, they're not going to be in my top 5. So here's my top 5. Number 5, I'm going to go with Martin Scorsese. This is my one big sort of like classic or whatever director that is going to be on this list. The Departed has been one of my favorite movies since I saw it. I'm not big on Taxi Driver. Don't shoot me. Sorry. Raging Bull is amazing. I mean, this guy does great work time and time again, and his catalog is just so vast that how do you not put him on here? Number 4, I'm going to go with David Fincher. Now, if he was a writer as well, he would probably be higher on this list. But since he works with other people who write the screenplays, it's sort of, to be up here on this list, I mean, you really need to do a lot. And he does do a lot. The tone that he brings to every movie is just, you can tell. Gone Girl, Fight Club, Zodiac, Social Network. This guy's made some of my favorite films. 7. What's in the Box? I can't get enough of David Fincher. So he's super dark. You're not going to get a lot of like happy whatever feelings from watching a David Fincher movie. but the movies are so well made that that's cool with me. Number 3 on my list is going to be Paul Thomas Anderson. He's made Magnolia, Boogie Nights, There Will Be Blood. I mean, he's done a ton. Inherent Vice. His work is just so perfect. I think he's probably the most talented filmmaker on my list. He doesn't have some crazy amount of output. He's not making a movie every year, but when he does make a movie, you know that it's going to be amazing. You know that it's going to be nominated for Oscars. I mean, I really like him too because he shoots on film most of the time. And to me, I just like people that are going to keep these mediums alive and not just, make, as some people on my list would say, TV for the big screen. So I really like that Paul Thomas Anderson keeps that alive. And just, he's up here on my list because whenever it's announced that he's making a new film, that is always one of my most anticipated films. So number 2 on my list is going to be Quentin Tarantino. Everybody knows him. Everybody knows his long list of movies. I'm not going to go over that. But just I'm not going to say original because people are going to lose their minds saying that Tarantino's original. But he's very unique. Just the way that he writes, and nobody does stuff like him. Nobody does movies in the vein that he does. They're very vulgar and whatever, man. That's why I like them. I can't even the movies that Quentin Tarantino fans hate on, like Death Proof, I love. I just don't get it. I don't expect every one of his movies to be Pulp Fiction. I don't expect every one of his movies to be Reservoir Dogs. Are they like... Barry Bonds didn't hit a home run every time he was up to bat. He struck out a lot too. Now, Tarantino doesn't strike out, but guess what? Not everything is going to be his best movie ever made. That's impossible. So, Tarantino, I think, has only got a couple more movies that he says that he's going to make until he retires. That will be a sad, sad day. I think that he should keep making movies until he croaks. And honestly, I think that this whole retirement thing might last for a few years and he'll just get the itch and start making movies again. So, number 1 on my list is Christopher Nolan. Now, he's a pretty divisive filmmaker. A lot of people don't like his stuff. A lot of people love his stuff. I'm in that category. Memento changed my life. I can't express the feelings that I had the first time I watched that movie. It just blew my mind. I immediately went and, researched him and the story, and, it's really great. Some of his other movies like The Prestige, Inception, these are, for a filmmaker to make these many movies that make me think for days and weeks and months afterwards, that movies that make me go research online other people's opinions and theories about the movie, that's really what I want. It's really great when you can connect so well with a movie that you take it with you afterward. And some people don't like that, but for me, just being in the movie and being so enthused with it, like that's what I want. So he just came out with Dunkirk really recently, and it's some of the stuff he does with these IMAX cameras and everything. It's insane. Watching these old fighter jets with an IMAX camera strapped to the nose be crashed into the ocean. he's doing stuff that other people don't do. So, he did the Dark Knight trilogy, which most people look at as sort of the epitome of what a superhero movie should be like. Maybe not The Dark Knight Rises. I know a lot of people dog on that. But as far as The Dark Knight goes, like, that's sort of the gold standard, I think a lot of people would say. So, I really love everything he does. And like these other guys on my list, every time that he comes out with something, I'm there the opening day. So, yeah, those are my top 5 filmmakers, or my favorite 5 directors, and some of my honorable mentions. So I'm sure that I forgot some people, but I know that I did not forget anybody that would go in my favorite 5. So, I'm curious what everybody else's favorite 5 directors are. I'm curious if you might have the same 5 as me. So subscribe, hit the little red button down in the corner. Let me know in the comments what you think, who your favorite directors are. Like me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter, Instagram, all that good stuff. So thanks for watching, and I'll catch you back here next time.